Hello and welcome to another video, and welcome to Cape Town, and this is the Camps Bay Retreat. This hotel is a boutique style hotel. You can stay in the main house or at one of the many villas, or if you wanted to you can stay in a pod or even a tree house type accommodation. We'll have a look at all of that in a moment. First of all, we're going to have a look inside the house itself, and later we'll be walking through the 4 acres of beautiful garden here. There is a natural mountain pool here as well, which we'll show you, and we'll have a look around the room that we're staying in. Our room cost us £500, which was for 5 nights, which is good value for money. At the front of the hotel you'll have views of Camps Bay, and at the back of the hotel views of the 12 Apostles, the Lion's Head and the Table Mountain. And this is the front of the hotel. The garden area, which is magnificent, I've got to say, and this is a beautiful day today and a lovely sunset which we'll see soon. And there's the sea looking magnificent and the view of Camps Bay there. The house itself was built in 1929 and it was designed by William Grant. This is the Earl Dyke Manor, and you either love this kind of house or perhaps you don't. But there is a contrast of styles here because there's lots of modern parts of the estate and some traditional, and I quite like this, especially this roaring fire. This is the main reception area. It's also a lovely sitting area. Off the side you'll find more dining rooms and more areas to sit and relax. I love that stained glass on the ceiling there. And here's the resident dog. This is Foxy. The staff here were really good, and we had breakfast every morning included in our room rate, and the breakfast was great, although some days the service was a little bit slower than you would expect. It was out of season, so they didn't have a load of staff, so we will let them off for being a little bit slow. Through here you'll see the kitchen and of course another dining room, and in that dining room you'll get the buffet style continental breakfast in the morning, and then a cooked option as well, a la carte from a menu. We've now come out to the garden, and there are 4 acres of garden here and lots of little paths leading down to the bottom where there is a gate where you can go out onto Camps Bay. And if you are a little bit unsteady on your feet, it's probably not suitable for you. I know I really struggled on some of the steps and some of the paths, although we did attempt to walk through this area late at night, and it's not to be recommended as it's not that well lit. I like all the different plants. It's like walking through a jungle garden, which is great, isn't it? There's lots of little areas which are quite secluded where you can sit and watch the world go by. Just relax and think of nothing. Beautiful. It's got to be said, this garden is romantic. Just look at this little area. Imagine sitting there with a loved one and a glass of champagne or even a cocktail. And there are lots of bare-breasted ladies here as well. Well, statues of ladies with no heads. So cover your eyes if you're under the age of 18. How many of these plants and trees can you name? This is beautiful, and wait until you see the mountain pool at the bottom, a natural pool with water from the mountains. You can see little paths and little streams throughout, these magnificent gardens. And you can easily get lost, especially at night. There is a walk of tranquility here as well, with paths going off in lots of different directions. As we walk down to the nursery at the bottom, we'll show you around there. We'll also show you the gate where you get out of, and also the pods as well. And here we are walking through the nursery where all these plants are being grown before putting them into the main garden. It's like walking through a garden centre. By the way, I'm not following the lady in the pink jumper. She's actually my friend Helen, who I was on this trip with. And I've never been to South Africa before, and people do say, is it safe? Well, it's like most places. If you go down strange streets in the middle of the night, then they're not going to be safe. But if you stick to well-lit tourist areas, then you'll be absolutely fine. But you've obviously got to have your wits about you. It was a little bit untidy, this area, and we did wonder whether we were allowed to even be there. But I'm guessing with it being slightly out of season, they were doing all the work, getting ready for the summertime. And there's a sign to the pods. Didn't really fancy the pods, they were like little porter cabins. And there's the gate. And here we are at the natural mountain pool. The water looks dirty, doesn't it? But it won't be dirty. It will have come from the mountains, through the rocks, and down to this lovely natural pool. And there's a bath right in the middle of the garden there. And there's one of the pods in prime position. And here's Helen walking over the bridge and jumping up and down. No idea why she's doing that. And in the background, the lion's head. I can't see the lion in that, but lots of people do. And the sunset over the Atlantic Ocean. There are lots of different room categories here, and we will put details in the description box below. We're walking towards the room we were staying in, which was actually a villa with separate rooms. The villa itself has 4 separate rooms, and you can hire the whole of the villa if you want to. If you don't hire the whole of the villa and you're in one of the rooms, you can still use all the facilities in the villa. There's a barbecue, tables and chairs, a football game, and even a swimming pool. As we go into the communal living space now, you can see that it's quite spacious, and there's some lovely settees there, and a big TV and a roaring fire. They did say to us if we were wanting to use the communal area, we could do, but not to use the cookers. although we didn't really want to because food in South Africa at the restaurants is really cheap, good value for money. Talking of food, they left us some little snacks in our room, and this is our room. The rooms had plenty of storage space, a TV there with Netflix on, and also tea and coffee making facilities, an iron and a hairdryer. We were even left a selection of snacks and a fridge with some drinks in, complimentary. And there's a picture of Nelson Mandela on the wall. And you'll see lots of pictures and statues of Nelson Mandela throughout South Africa. And this is the bathroom, which is really pleasant as well. A very powerful shower, but please do be careful when getting out of the door, because some people don't know how to use doors very well. And you might notice on this clip that the beds are pushed together. Well, in actual fact, that's how they were when we arrived, and we had them separated. The hotel offer a complimentary scone with drink in the afternoon, which is very pleasant indeed, but if you're out and about, probably not worth rushing back for. There are lots of things to do in Cape Town, and we were in a very popular area of Camps Bay with lots of restaurants and bars and miles of beaches. And here's Helen wandering across the wobbly bridge. It reminds me of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, although we didn't eat any kangaroo testicles or anything nasty like that. And doesn't that pool look great as we see the sun going down over Camps Bay? And that's about it from the Camps Bay retreat, where you'll find some contemporary accommodation or some traditional accommodation, or even staying in a pod or a tree house. We hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Please don't forget, if you've enjoyed it, to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell, if of course you want to. Until next time, bye for now.